Thank you for choosing the Chronicles of D and S.
Okay.
Today we're doing a story time. Delphine is going to share a story with us, but before we share the story, we're just going to go back a bit and give you like a background story.
Yeah.
On like
imico
iwacu like as
the Rwandese culture.
So imico y'Umunyarwanda iyo usamye inda hanze yo gushakwa ntabwo byemewe. They like need to understand how deep it is. Okay, so in Rwandese culture it is prohibited for a girl to have a child out of wedlock. But I think that goes to say for a lot of African like countries. But like we're gonna give Delphine's gonna share like in terms of what happened to her. Yes.
Yeah. Just to add on your background thing, right? So we were like, even though we never grew up like in Rwanda, we grew up outside of Rwanda. However, like our parents really tried their best to raise us up in like the Rwandese way. Do you understand? Because even like at school, guys, in as much as like people think I'm talkative, whatever, like I was always like the sweet girl, the nice one, like going like no sleepovers, you can't stay out for too long,
you can't dress a certain way,
you can't be friends with boys. It's like a no.
It's a big no.
You can't even like hug
boys. That's a big no. Girls and boys can't be friends. You learn that at like a very young age.
So it's deep, like it's really even like to a point where even if you like smile at a guy, it's like it's a problem. Do you understand? So now imagine being pregnant.
Pregnant.
And just a little bit of another side note, hey. I got pregnant at 25, guys. That didn't matter. I could have been 45,
40, 45, 50. As long as there's no
husband, there's no ring.
It ain't a goal.
It's not a vibe, it's not a thing. Okay, so that's the background of what had happened. So now, I fall pregnant, I get 3 pregnancy tests. Just for confirmation. Positive. I'm sitting at work, I'm like, I call my sister immediately and I'm like, girl, we are cooking things in the oven. We are cooking, we are baking, we are frying, we are frosting, we are doing all the things. Yeah? She's like, we'll speak about this when I get home. I get home, and then what happened?
I wasn't surprised, guys, ne? Listen, that same day, I remember what she wore a black dress that day that it happened. I know it was a Sunday.
6
we
o'clock
come from church. Guys, listen, and it was still at the beginning of like us like stepping into like the life of Christ.
Yeah.
So I had told Delphine, I said, Delphine, I begged her because at that time we were still sharing a room. So I told her, please don't leave the house today. Please don't. And she insisted. No, you know, she's like very like she's got like the strong personality. Like you can't. It's her no is no, and her yes is a yes. So I was like, no sis, don't go anyway. She was like, no, I'm gonna go. So when she told me this, the first thing I was like, it had to have been that particular day, which it was,
and it was that fateful day.
And I'm gonna be honest, I was against it. The first thing I told her, like honestly, and I was scared because like I'm the one who's always like, oh, we can't do this. We were not raised this way. We can't do this. We're not raised this way. I was the one who told her, sis, abortion. Abortion, sis,
abort.
You're gonna sit down and tell them what? That you have a what? In what house? Where were you raised? Do you know who you are? Like what? Where do you think? Who do you think you are? Wenzani? But guys, listen.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So after I told her that was a story, she was like, have an abortion, and I'm like, it's not happening. Like, I'm not doing that. That had never ever crossed my mind ever of having an abortion. It never, honestly guys, like it never crossed my mind. And then it was the thing of how I'm gonna tell my mom, you know.
Before mom, but she spoke to our apostle.
Yes.
Before I wanted like
I wanted like spiritual guidance. Yeah. And remember, at the time, like it was literally like a month into the church, so man of God did not know me at all. So I asked to like meet up with him and speak. So we met at church. Man of God, I want to take this opportunity to say thank you. Thank you so very much. And I'm thanking him because he not once judged me. He never said, how could you, or this and that. No, he was more focused on how am I doing? How is the baby doing? What am I going to do forward? Like things like that, like things that a father would speak to the child. And his advice to me was, raise your child, and if you ever need anything, please speak to me and speak to my wife. We are there to assist you. So for that, man of God, I will forever hold a place for you in my heart. You, Mama Ali. Thank you so much. Thank you, man of God. Yeah, so, and we spoke for hours, so I really like needed that talk because it gave me like an extra oomph of strength, do you understand, to then conquer what was coming later. So after telling man of God, I was building up the courage to obviously tell my mom, and I did not for the life of me, no way, I was going to start by telling her about I'm pregnant, you get. So at night when everybody was in bed, she was sitting in the lounge, and I came, I was like, Mom, I need to speak to you. Guys, the first thing my mom said was, Delphine, as long as you are not HIV positive or you are not pregnant, come, let's have the conversation. Yeah.
I think mom knew though. Like,
yeah,
a part of her like somehow like already knew.
But you should be like, hey, something is cooking. Okay, so then I tell her, I'm like, okay mom, I'm pregnant. And she's like, thanks. She stands up and she walks. With that face, guys, let me just redo that. Uti, thanks. And she stands up and she walks. I give it 5 minutes. I follow her to the room. I'm apologizing in any possible manner that I can on my knees in languages I don't know exists. Mama, like, I'm so sorry. Like, please forgive me. Like, what can you do? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, but say sorry, because I know that I'm in the wrong. So I'm apologizing. She's not saying anything. I close the door. Next day I go to work, and from that time on, like, my mom did not speak to me. Like, she was not talking to me, and our house is not big, so I can't run away from her. Like, I can't hide upstairs, downstairs in the I can't. Like, we are, you know. So yeah, it's very awkward. And a week or so later, the family is in the house.
Family meeting. I think a lot of people do this. Like a lot of African
yeah. They have jail.
Inama ngokwicara hasi bakakuvugisha bakaguha inama.
Yeah. So the family was here, and in that meeting I didn't say anything, to be honest with you, because everybody had their own opinions of how I was disappointing, how they had expected this from me, how they even asked me like, why didn't I have an abortion, you know, things like that. Like, it was really intense. It was bad, guys. It was really bad, and I was trying to obviously, because I'm a very strong and opinionated person, so I was trying to be respectful and quiet because I knew that I was in the wrong. Do you understand? So I was very quiet. I listened to everybody. And after the meeting was adjourned, life continued in the house. It was like, guys, it was very, very awkward. And then because my uncle wasn't at this meeting, guys, my uncle was out of the country for work. Then from nowhere, when my uncle was not available, I see my uncle in the house. And Uncle P, you are amazing. Love you so much. He came and he was like, because I personally, side note, know that my mom was expecting like my uncle to like be all shouting at me and be like
on his, not on his side, but like more like a great, like
being like a great, like, do you understand what I'm saying? But my uncle came, and for that, I love you for it. He came and he was like, okay, so
you're pregnant.
So
what's next?
What's next? Like, what are you doing? Like, what are we doing? So my mom was like, and I said, and I'm like, Uncle, I'm gonna raise my child the best way that I know how. And yeah, so he was actually the first person in the family to actually be like, Delphine, you're pregnant, so what are we doing? And I appreciate it, and I loved it, and I loved it for him. I love it that he did that for me. I appreciate it. And yeah, months moved on. Again, like in the house, it was very, very bad because there was no sort of like communications in the house. It was just like a bad vibe. Hey, like it was really bad. And here I have like my stomach. It's growing. And you know. And I remember the time the work that I was actually, the uniform that I was wearing, like it was like this tight tee. Like it was my stomach, I can't hide it. And then my mom is obviously seeing this. She's like, you know, because she's still like, it was very, very awkward in the house, guys. Very, very awkward. And I know you're waiting for me to speak about your ass, but I'm not.
Why would you speak about me?
Yeah. So, and months went by, like, and I remember like going to the, like, I have to emphasize on this, guys, that in as much as like my sister was here we go. This girl, she was there, man. Like she was there. She's still there. Like she was there for me. And I mean, like we share the bedding, you know, like when you're pregnant and you're sharing a bed with the pregnant lady, like it's bad, man. Like it's not cute because it's uncomfortable. It's this and I remember we used to walk to work together because at the time we worked in the same mall, and obviously like I'm pregnant, like, and it was so nice having her there because she was like a good energy. Do you understand? Like I don't want to get into the but people know that my sister, she's everything, man. She's everything in my life. I appreciate her. I appreciate her. If I could give her the world, my people, like I'll give it to her. Woo! Okay. Yeah. Yes. So with regards to like my pregnancy, like I was saying, like my sister was there throughout the whole pregnancy. She was amazing. But in terms of going to the doctors, going to the clinic, going for the scans, like I wanted to do that on my own. Like I went to every appointment on my own. I went to every testing on my own. Everything I wanted to do it on my own because I just didn't want. You know when you feel like you're just putting like a burden on other people. I'm not that person. Like I wanted to do it like on my own. Like every visit and all of that. Even when I went for the scan, I did a private scan for the gender reveal. Like everything was like on my own. And I'm not trying to like I'm not gonna try and sugarcoat it. Like it was so bad, and there was times that in the middle of the night, like I remember when people were sleeping in the house, like around 3ish, like or 2 o'clock, I'll get out of the house and I'll sit because we stay like in an apartment. I'll sit at the stairs or I'll walk. There's this other big tree here. I'll walk there and I don't know if I'll be murmuring to God. I think I was murmuring to God because I was like, if there's anything here, like this pregnancy was very, 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 very emotional. Like it was a lot of emotions like happening, and at the same time I'm trying to be so strong because they say that how you are while you're pregnant, you project that whole like energy to your baby. Do you understand? So I was trying so hard to be super strong, but obviously like I have days where like I can't do it anymore. Do you understand? That's when like I will leave the house and I'll walk outside like in the middle of the night. I'll just cry my lungs out. I'll be like, God. And I remember I always said, God, please just give me strength. Just give me, strengthen me. That was always like the prayer. And God being God, hey, God came through. Do you understand? And then you also have nobody knew about my pregnancy apart from my family, but at the time came where obviously people like you meet people in the streets because they say, oh, Delphine is pregnant, and then you have that whole stigma of that Rwandese community that is gossiping about you, and we know like about you, like they can gossip, like they can speak. Do you understand? So you have that thing, and you also have the thing of I don't want to go outside anymore because you don't want to give people more room to like speak. You understand what I'm saying? I remember there was weddings that happened of one of my close friends, and I chose not to go just so I could protect my mom, because I didn't want to like also have that thing of they're speaking about like her daughters at the wedding and this, you know. So I decided, you know, and this person is like my friend. Do you understand? I stayed at home, you know, just for the sake of, you know, for the sake of peace. And then I remember when I was 6 months pregnant, right? I was at work. I started having like pains, like just in jail, like it feels like a period cramp, but it's not really, but it's a bit weird. And then I remember I went inside the clinics, and then there was a nurse there. The nurse was like, no, they have to admit me to the hospital because what is this thing called again? I'm contracting. I'm like, contracting at 6 months. Ambulance came and everything. I remember we went to Somerset Hospital, and I had to call my mom, and I was like, how am I gonna? Like, she had to, when you're pregnant, you have to carry your book everywhere. But I'm like, I'm 6 months. Like, I'm not carrying this thing anyway. Do you understand? So my mom comes to the hospital, and my contractions keep, like, I'm contracting, but obviously I don't know what is, like, it's the first time I'm pregnant. I don't know what is happening. Do you understand? And then I remember, like, I was there for like 2 or 3 hours. They even gave me this tablet to stop the contractions, but it was not working. And I'm like, I told my, there is no way I'm having my child at 6 months. No way. I remember I made a prayer. Yeah, I made a prayer in the hospital, and then I told the doctors, I'm leaving. They're like, really? I'm like, I'm leaving. I remember the doctor even said, oh, you want to kill your child, you don't want to have this child. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not having my child at 6 months. My child will come full trimester, end of story. Whatever I need to sign, give it to me, let me sign, but I'm out of here. And I remember, guys, I remember even the tablet they gave me, it really it didn't help. But after I made the prayer, I felt perfectly fine. I was like, I'm out of here. The devil is a liar. I'm out of here. And I could see that my mom was a little bit, I think that was the first time that I saw that she was a little bit worried and concerned about my about my well-being, etc., etc. And then things from there started to become a little bit easier, and so forth and so on. Even when it was time for me to start, like, doing the shopping for my child. Oh, and yes, and by the way, I knew what I was carrying even before I went for the scan. I can't explain it. Maybe other mothers, if you've been a mom before, like, you will understand what I'm saying. I knew, like, the gender that I was carrying from the get-go. That's another story for another day. So even like the shopping for my son. Yes, I have a boy. I did it on my own. It was things that I chose to do on my own. And I remember the second time, that's when I remember I took my sister and Blaze with, because we just wanted to, like, have and just, quality time, on our own, and etc. So the point, before I finish the story, the whole pregnancy, guys, I'm not gonna lie to you, it was an emotional roller coaster. Again, purely based on the fact that I fell pregnant out of wedlock, and I'm a single mother. Do you understand? And then it puts that thing of you're not gonna get married. Who's gonna want you now? Things like that. So
they call it, like, what do you call it? Like, almost like you're ruined, or like stained. So
yeah. So already, like, there's like this stigma thing that's sitting on top of your head. You understand? So you have to think about all of those things happening around, and also you are in church, and then people are like, like, even in the church, like, you're having this kind of, like, people are giving you, like, this funny looks already, because, like, how can you be in church and you're pregnant? You understand what I'm saying? So it was like a lot of emotional things that was happening that I honestly choose not to visit again. And remember, also, I'm also a single mom. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so again, it's a lot of emotional things. However, I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say I don't have support. I didn't get support. I did. Like, my family was absolutely amazing. However, the reason why that I'm doing this story time, even though I don't want to talk about the emotional side of it, I just want to speak to not only, like, the Rwandese community, like, parents as well. In as much as you try to, you do your best to raise us the best way that you can. When in life things happen, things happen, and things that happened in 1992 are not things that are happening in 2020. And guys, I'm not trying to justify my pregnancy. I'm not sitting here and trying to say that, oh, you now go and fall pregnant, etc. No. I would have, growing up, I also wanted to finish school, get married, and then have a baby. But it happened the other way, and it happened for a reason. And in our next video, I want to speak about that part of the pregnancy. I just wanted to share now, like, the emotional part of the pregnancy and the stigma around it. So in the next video I'll probably I will want to speak about like being like a single parent, and then we can touch based on things that happens, etc., etc. So parents, kids are going to disappoint you. Parents are going to disappoint their kids, and it's not easy. It's never going to be easy. I'm not gonna sit here and say I wish that my mom would have handled this way or that way. No, she handled it the way she knew, and she handled it. You understand what I'm saying? And I love her because she's my son's grandmother, and she's the best grandmother to my boy. And also, mother, I love you so much. Thank you. Thank you for always being. Thank you for being our mom. Thank you for being our mom. I know, but. Yeah, disappointed sometimes. We work on your nerves most of the time, but she's the most. No, she's the favorite.
We're not going to talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah. And also another closing again, Sandrine. Guys, please show my sister some love. Put in the comments. We love you, Sandy. We love you. We love you. We love you. We love you, Sandrine. Ugh, here's the tears again. Like, what is wrong with me?
Sophie is such an emotional person, guys.
No, I'm not. So when it comes to my boy, like I feel like, yeah. But Sandrine, thank you so much for being the best auntie, for being the best mommy to my son. Yeah, she's so awkward, guys. Honestly,
any sister would. Like literally, I do not. Like she's always so thankful, like the smallest things, and I feel like I do nothing.
How is being there for a pregnant lady like a small thing? Like it's a big thing.
It's not.
Anyway, guys, that's it. I'm at a very great place right now. 3 years.
God is so good, guys. God is good. Let me tell you.
And
with God, guys, with God, ne? Hey, what is it with God, ne? Lean on God. Lean not on men. If anything, if you don't ever cloud whatever you have with what men will say to you, no matter what you're going through.
Yes.
God is faithful. Love you.
And He will
do it.
And also just a last thing that I want to say, guys, on that note, people will always speak about you, hey? And I promise you, the same people that are always talking about you, hey, they will never help you in any way. It's those that are silent that actually assist you. Let me tell you that. So people will always speak about you. They will speak bad, they will speak good, but always know that if you know who you are, if you know your truth, and if you make God center, I promise you, everything will be good. Thank you guys so much for watching our story time. Peace.